At the South-South Zone, the Senate's Committee on Constitution Review held a public hearing reviewing over 50 proposed amendments to the 1999 Constitution. Stakeholders, including civil society groups, traditional rulers, and advocacy organizations, gathered in Ikot Ekpene to push for reforms aimed at building a more inclusive and representative nation. Top issues were raised, including a demand for 6 new states and 3 additional local government areas, support for the reserved seats for women bill, and also the stronger position to removing labor from the exclusive legislative list. All right, joining us now for this conversation, of course, joining us to have this conversation right now is Barrister Justice Ojionoh. We'll be talking about the constitutional reform process. Barrister Justice, thank you so much for joining.
It's my pleasure to join you.
Okay, let's start off with this cry and this demand for the creation of 6 new states and additional local government areas. What is the potential political and social implication of this?
Okay, for me, majorly the political implication, I even actually outrightly, let me just give an opinion on it. Outrightly, okay. I feel that it's a real waste of time. So politically, it's gonna be squandered capital, because I do not see it seeing the light of day. Because no matter how passionate we are in one corner of Nigeria demanding or requesting that we should have a separate territory as a state, particularly, the other ends of the country may not share such sentiments, and we need to be able to galvanize everybody in all corners of Nigeria before it can see the light of day as per the provisions of the amendment of our Constitution, pursuant to Section 9 of the Constitution. So I do not see it eventually scaling the hurdle, despite the fact that a lot of people are feeling that one corner of their state should be independent and, yes, and have a independent state power. So if you now ask me that, what do I feel on this part, I will say that the Southeast, for the sake of fairness and equity, especially at the Senate level, because we are entitled to 3 senators per state, I feel that there should be an extra state in the Southeast. I know that Anioma has always been pushed for, so maybe it can be Anioma, maybe it may not be Anioma, but there should be an additional state for the Southeast. That's as per me. Okay. But as for the local governments, I will advocate for more local government, because local governments are the ones that provide governance to the average persons. But when it comes to their staffing or political office holders, they may have to cut that down. But we should have much more than what we presently have.
Let's talk about state policing, right? I mean, in what ways, could this establishment, because it's been demanded by some zones, to influence security and governance and all of that. What do you think state policing can do for Nigeria right now?
The federal policing that we've always had, pursuant to Section 214 through 217, has obviously failed. So there is no way we can say that, okay, we should continue maintaining what we presently have, because I saw there was a tabloid, I don't want to drop names now, yeah, that said that we had more than 600,000 people dead in one country in a day, in a year, where we are not at war. So that shows that federal policing has totally failed. I will support fully that provisions of Section 214, 215 of our Constitution be amended for us to have another kind of policing that is closer to the people. We do not have to wait for the people in Luizede House in Abuja before the farthest flung cranny in a state is protected. So I feel that state policing should be it. And I also want to further advocate that beyond state policing, we should also have local policing, because it is the people that see and speak at the local level that are able to actually thwart insecurity that actually emanates and actually starts from the local level. So I am fully for state policing, because federal policing has failed, and I want to even suggest more that we should further go into local policing.
Now, when it comes to policing, right, it's always a good concept, but we also have to look at something here, which is funding. How many states in Nigeria do you think can actually fund that, looking at how, lots of states are in debt and, things regarding things as easy as simple as salaries are not even paid. I mean, you don't want to be in a situation where your police set up, your police officers, you don't expect them to be as efficient as possible. So looking at where Nigerian states are right now, do you think we can afford that?
I solidly actually think we can afford that. Despite the fact that there's so much corruption in the system, a state like Lagos State cannot give such an excuse. A state like Rivers State, Akwa Ibom State cannot give such an excuse.
How many of these states do we have?
Yeah, okay, maybe, and that's why I started out by saying that if we root out corruption, what we have will go round. I am very, very certain of that. What we have will definitely go round. If we root out corruption and we improve on efficiency and we improve on revenue generation, I think that what we have will go round. That's number one. At some point, I personally feel that we should always not let the good be the enemy of the great. We shouldn't always be saying, oh, until we can have it all excellently taken care of at the excellent or great level, that we shouldn't start. Can we start? If we start, funding, we'll look for a way to. It's a challenge. There will always be challenges. We'll have to look for a way to ensure that we get sufficient funding to take care of the loyal and sacrificial persons that will eventually staff the various state police forces or even local police forces that may come to life as a result of the eventual constitutional amendment.
Now, how can this constitutional review process, ensure that, reforms lead to a more inclusive and representative governance structure rather than just, deepen regional or ethnic divisions?
Yeah, and that's why, as much as possible, we have to ensure that the arguments that are being had and the eventual compromise that will be arrived at is had in an altruistic manner. People shouldn't over-push their agenda because as it presently is, and that's why to an extent I'm a bit against it, everybody is personally actually just pushing their agenda. So if they put the country first and they put equality and equity and fairness first, I think that the eventual byproduct of all these efforts will actually augur well for every citizen of Nigeria.
Now, when we look at the National Assembly, of course, we know that 2/3 of them have to approve for things for the constitutional amendment to actually go through. What are the chances that this would happen, looking at the kind of National Assembly we have right now?
Okay, I even think that it's even beyond the National Assembly, and of course, all these remind me of the case of Attorney General of Lagos State and Attorney General of the Federation at the time, where the present president was the one that championed it, and of course the former vice president, Mr. Yemi Osinbajo, senior advocate of Nigeria, when he was the Attorney General of Lagos. And they pushed for some of these amendments by way of a local government autonomy. Eventually, we saw that it didn't see the light of day, and the court actually ordered or ruled that, yes, it was inchoate. Yes, the states have the power to actually create more local governments, but it was inchoate, and that it was the National Assembly that had the responsibility to make consequential amendments to the Constitution in order to be able to capture the amendments that have been made by the state government. So I feel that as it is, as presently constituted, the people of various states may want to prevail on their representatives at the National Assembly, not just the National Assembly, but also at the state houses of assembly. I don't see it seeing the light of day at that stage. And if it doesn't see the light of day at that stage, unfortunately, there is going to be another effort in futility, just like the other constitutional assembly and maybe constitutional conferences that we've had in the past. And for me, I don't want to even say that people should sue the persons who brought this idea for damages for wasting our national resources in wasted efforts.
Thank you so much, Barrister Justice Ojionoh, for joining us, and we hope you join us again some other time.
It will be my pleasure.
All right, still on political matters.